That was another question from the MoneyLion community asking, how do you start investing as a newcomer? Here to talk about that very topic is today's guest, Austin Hankwitz. Austin, thanks for being here.
What's up, everyone? Super excited to be here.
Austin Hankwitz is the head analyst at Grit Capital and co-host of the Rich Habits podcast, which is a top 10 business podcast on Spotify. Austin's all about making investing simple and accessible for everyone. Austin is going to help us break down the basics of investing and walk us through some of his strategies. You'll love what he has to say towards the end of the interview about market volatility, facing doubt, and how to avoid panic selling. So stick around. And if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite takeaway from today's interview. Austin, thanks for being here. Let's start off with a common question from our community. Let's say a young person wants to start investing, but is feeling hesitant and already behind. Where do they even begin?
My best advice for someone who wants to start investing but might feel overwhelmed or behind is to keep it simple. If you're overwhelmed by the idea of investing, the first thing that you should do is calculate how much you can actually afford to invest on a consistent basis. I like to see people investing about 15% of their monthly take-home pay, but if you're not there yet, that's totally fine too.
That's great. I think 15% is very doable. Influencers seem to always say, you need money to make money. But what if individuals watching this only have like $100 to start with? Is that even worth it?
In my opinion, the right amount of money to start with is the amount of money you can afford to invest right now. So for some of you, that's $10 because you're just starting out and you might not have a lot of margin in your budget. For others, it could be $1,000 or more because you've been doing this for a while and you've really made it well in your career. What matters more than the amount of money you're investing with in the beginning is instead building the habit of investing consistently.
Okay, let's talk about the S&P 500. Can you explain what that index is in simple terms?
Once you've identified the amount you're investing every month, it's time to identify your investment options. So I recommend keeping it simple by investing in the S&P 500, which is America's 500 largest, most profitable companies.
I keep seeing people on social media buying individual stocks, stable coins, altcoins, basically everything. Should I be doing that too? Am I missing out?
A beginner mistake I see often is diversifying too much too quickly. So I think a lot of beginner investors, especially if you have less than like $100,000 invested across all of your retirement accounts, right? We call that building our base. They're gonna go out and they're gonna watch a TikTok video, a YouTube video. They're gonna buy 42 different single stocks, a dozen different ETFs, a bunch of cryptocurrencies. That is overwhelming. Do not do any of that stuff. Do not worry about that. Now, there's nothing wrong with diversifying your investments, but I think in the beginning, you really need to hone in on, again, building that base of your first $100,000 invested across index funds and ETFs like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100.
Totally agree. Not that I'm one to be giving financial advice, but it makes sense to invest in these simple ETFs because they are the most diversified you can be while only owning one stock. So what's this whole thing about building your base to 100K like you alluded to a minute ago? Why is that number important?
Once you get six figures invested into broad market exposure that tends to go up and to the right over a long period of time, then you've built your base and now you can begin to get a little bit fancier with your style.
Well, fun fact, since 1957, the S&P 500 index has delivered an average annual return of approximately 10%. So if you have $100,000 invested, that means you're making $10,000 a year just by letting your money sit and grow. Social media makes it seem like everyone's either getting rich quick or losing everything. How do you stay sane when the market is doing crazy things?
Everyone needs to tattoo this phrase on their forehead or something, and that is, when in doubt, zoom out. In the moment, all these market-moving headlines feel like the world's coming to an end and we should sell our investments and run for the hills, but it's important to remember that the best performing investors are those that stick to the plan and do not get shaken out by volatility. One of my favorite quotes is, "The only people that get hurt on the roller coaster are the ones that get off in the middle of the ride." Do not get off the roller coaster until it's over.
So when the market takes these huge dips, I guess we need to remember that it would be crazy to sell everything we have or panic because, sure enough, the market will be right back up in a matter of weeks. Also, I'm totally getting that tattoo. All right, Austin, any final words for people who are just getting started with investing?
It's about time in the market, not timing the market, so stay consistent and stick to your plan. What matters more is just getting started in the first place and investing what you can afford.
Austin, this has been super helpful. Thanks for being with us today and breaking down the basics of how to get started with investing. I know a lot of younger people are lost right now, trying to figure out how to get started. So what you had to say today is so great. I learned a lot myself.
Thanks so much for having me. This was so much fun, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of the tips Austin had to share with us. Tip number 1, calculate what you can afford to invest. Tip number 2, build the habit of investing consistently. Solid. Tip number 3, invest in the most profitable companies. Tip number 4, FOMO is not an investment strategy. Tip number 5, build your base before you get fancy. Tip number 6, when in doubt, zoom out. Probably my favorite thing he said today. And tip number 7, start investing today and keep at it. I hope you found today's video as helpful as I did. Comment down below with some things you learned from our guest today. You can also share this interview with a friend who might be new to investing and looking for tips before they get started. Hey friends, thanks for being with us today. Be sure to like and subscribe for more financial tips from top experts, mentors, celebrities, and influencers. We have tons of exciting content to share with you on our channel, so turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. And that's it for today. Bye, everyone.
Got a money question? Head to gobankingrates.com and ask away for a chance to win $500. Your question could be answered by a top financial expert.